Hello everybody and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast, episode 423. 423, that's not even the right motions. My name's Adam Cook, I'm your host this week and every week on the God is a Geek podcast. Did I mention this is a podcast? You may be watching us and you may already see the people on the podcast this week with me, but for those listening, Mr. Adam Carroll, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. How is everyone?
Good. It's good to be back, Adam, and I like your hat. Twice. Does the joke work?
You like this? You like this hat?
I'm sure that's the same hat. I mean, I wear the same jumper every week. It's my podcast outfit.
It's the same hat, yeah. But like, you know, look, the hat game. The hat game's a different story, okay? I have numerous hats. But you know, you got that one or two that you like. You're my bestie.
I do, because I wear it every episode of this podcast. A man who doesn't need a hat, because and you've already know this because if you're watching on youtube.com/GodIsAGeek, luxurious, beautiful locks of hair. Christopher Hyde. Hello, Chris.
Hiya, mate. You're right.
Marvellous, mate. Excited to be able to talk about new consoles with one of you and the other one of you soon. Soon, Adam. Soon. Yeah. So are you checking that tracking number very often? Or?
Oh my God, it was checked today. It's been dispatched.
I thought as much, yeah.
There's 7 steps. 7
Is there?
levels.
What, already?
Yeah.
What?
There's like
7 things have happened to your parcel already?
No.
Oh, there's
like
7 steps
different...
Oh, man, that's horrible. I don't know that I would
I'm just
sleep.
Watch that go on. So,
I don't blame you. So
I'm nervous.
Yeah, me too. What you're probably gathering from this is that Adam Carroll has a PS5 en route. Mm-hmm. Chris Hyde has one on his desk.
Yes.
So I mean, you just touched it. You couldn't see that, and I can't even say.
I'm just kind of teasing. It definitely is here.
See, mine's just here as well. Actually, is it hot?
I want to ask Chris a question, right? We know what you think of it, Ed. Right?
I've said enough.
You're a big fan. I want to ask Chris this question, right? We've heard and I've seen so many people talk about it, well, when they've had the model early or whatever, but did you get the overall, like, whoa, when you got the first feel of the DualSense?
Yes, and we'll come into why when I talk about Astro in a minute. But mate, that controller is something else. Like I haven't felt like that just for a controller. I can't think of the last time. I mean, obviously, it's been like the Wii and stuff, which is a bit different, I suppose. But it feels like it's gone back to that in terms of like how different it feels. Like the jump and the different things you can feel and do, and it's really good, mate. Really good.
See, because that's the thing. Like you know, like obviously, as you said the same. You were like, Jesus, this is just insane. Like what it's doing. But you know, like it's there's a level now where it's almost like. I'm kind of on edge when I actually get it, which sounds it's over the top to say.
No,
that,
it's
but
not,
you know,
because you don't want to be the one who plays it and was like, what the fuck's the point of this? but here's the thing, right? Obviously, and there's no other way of saying this without it sounding like a humble brag, but obviously I have had the PS5 for a month at this point, right?
Yeah.
And so you would almost expect... So when someone like Chris and Mick today, as we record, who's been like, oh my God, Astro, the way this feels, you'd expect me to almost be sat there going, yeah, like, I know, I wrote the review, but I'm not. It's the complete opposite. It's like, right, it's so cool. And the idea of hearing other people's impressions of that, it feels exciting because it makes, well, and this segs into, we're going to obviously talk about those launch games and stuff. It's really exciting to play it. It's still... Like I'm still playing games, and we'll, you know, I'll just jump in very quickly and say like Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War is my game that I've got this week to talk about, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the triggers on that, it throws up some interesting things because if you're playing like seriously competitive multiplayer, you don't want that resistance of like. Weird question: has anyone here fired a gun or even a BB gun, like the trigger? Has anyone ever pulled a trigger of?
Yeah, even a pellet gun.
There's resistance when a pellet gun is loaded because you are clicking it to make the chamber fire. And when you run out of ammo, that click, the resistance of that click disappears and it's floppy, or like an old controller. Okay. Yeah. And that is like panic-inducing in zombies mode or something. Because it's like, oh shit, and I'm a serial reloader. Like I will kill an enemy, reload, and you shouldn't do it. You should use the clip. But if you're like a serious, like an esports competitive multiplayer, you don't want that because it's different. You want to be able to go left trigger shoot, left trigger shoot, left trigger. You know what I mean? Throws up some interesting things, but I've heard a lot of people with them triggers. Actually, I've been listening to a few podcasts recently where people are saying they almost hope Microsoft release a revision of their controller with this in, because they want this in. Like, I've heard people say now, and I hands up, yes, the Xbox Series X is probably the most powerful of the consoles, although worth mentioning, like Digital Foundry, for example, have tested the Series X and the PS5 Valhalla, and it's better on PS5, so there's some interesting shit already. I would currently choose the PS5 because of that controller. I don't mean like you must only buy one, but I mean if a multi-platform game came along, I would go that way because it feels different than me picking up this controller and playing the same way I had before. And that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing FIFA 21 just last night.
Yep.
Obviously with the DualSense for the first time, and even just when you just going in for a tackle and getting nudged and stuff, and it just vibrates to where you're getting nudged. It's just it's those little things, but they're the kinds of things where you're just like, this feels better. And like you say, then if there's a choice in those multi-platform games, you kind of want to go to PS5 because you want to see what they do with it in the controller, because you're going to get the game. The game's going to look good no matter what.
And it's diminishing returns. We've talked about this.
Exactly.
Like, if you want a pixel count, I'm sure there will be many pieces of articles or videos that will prove the Xbox Series X version looks better. They will pixel count. They will prove it. But like, I said this on Twitter, like the FIFA 21, when they release the next gen version next month, which I'm quietly quite excited about, because if it's not ready now, that suggests they're doing something to it. So fingers crossed. But like NBA 2K21, for example, as the match wears on in basketball, the sprint button becomes harder to, instead of just being like simple because you're fit and loads of energy, the resistance increases as you become fatigued, which I would love to see in FIFA. Again, competitive-wise, people who are serious will just turn that stuff off. But to me, that's immersive. It's something that nothing else does. It's think about how VR is immersive and nothing else can do that. This isn't VR, but it's a different form of immersion that even VR, I can't think of a VR controller that has that adaptive sort of resistance stuff.
So is every, obviously you can't confirm this, but do you think every shooter from now on is going to use that?
Everyone I've tried that's been updated.
Like, will you find it quite strange if you're like playing some fucking first-person shoot down the line, and next week that's not happening? Would you be like, weird? Would you consider it a missed opportunity, or like would that downgrade your feeling towards a
because
game?
Call of Duty,
mad.
I've got used to it now. Like, I played a lot of Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War. What a bad name, but still good game. I played enough of that to be like, it's natural. And this is the first run of games to use it. Not 7 years down the line.
Yeah.
Like, Chris, Astro's Playroom.
Yes.
I mean, I nearly did it. I nearly got my kid and filmed him to just show the reaction of when you the spring suit.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So this game, Adam, it's a lovely little game. You are going to absolutely adore this, Adam Carroll. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
This title, I don't know how long it is, 3 or 4 hours. I've completed it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. But it's not very long. But the amount of stuff in it. Do you know what game it reminded me of?
Go on.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Not because of the amount of different ideas it rams in.
Yeah.
To such a small space and executes them really well, and they're all very different ideas as well. And it gives you enough time to play about with them, but then it just throws it out the window and gives you something else to do. It's such a good little game, and it's such a good almost tech demo, if you like, for what the controller can do. And the platforming's all right as well. The platforming's tight. It looks
I think it's really tight, actually.
And it sounds lovely and everything else. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm probably going to go back in and try and find all the little collectibles and everything.
I've been thinking of trying to get the platinum on that game, because now things are calming down a little bit. I would kind of like the time trials and stuff. Have you done them yet?
Yeah. No, I've unlocked them all, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see all the levels first. So I'll probably go back and do all the time trial bits and go and hunt for the collectibles. I
don't want to sort of lead you here because I wrote this in my review, and I know you would have probably read that or seen the video of it at least. Did you get this? Because I had quite an emotional response to it, like finding all the PlayStation stuff, and I don't want to say everything that's there because that's kind of the fun of it.
So no, I'm going to be really careful what I say here.
Yeah.
And this is coming from someone. We remember someone like me. I was Nintendo growing up. Okay,
yes.
So there are some nuggets in there which probably would be more relevant to other people.
Yes.
However, there are certain nods, certain earworms, shall we say, and certain things that they throw at you to celebrate things that I was just beaming when I saw and heard them. And I just thought it was nice and clever it wasn't one of those things where just trying to throw the celebration in your face and go, aren't we brilliant? It wasn't arrogant or anything. It was just like nice nods to it, which I thought was really nice. And do you know what? There's some quite clever humor in this game as well. I was laughing quite a lot. There's moments where, I mean, it's not really spoiling anything. There's throughout all the levels, there's this dude with an Astrobot with a video camera trying to make scenes from.
Oh god, there's a lot of them, isn't there, man?
There's loads of them, so I'm not really spoiling anything when I say that. And it's just the variety in there and the different like games and things that they're trying to replicate and stuff. It's just so, and they're just dotted around all the levels, and you're just trying to find them on top of all the other stuff you're trying to look for. It's just there's so much stuff packed into what is a really quite, like I say, only a few hours. It's not a massive game, but it's a very fully packed 4 hours, and you feel like I came away from it feeling really satisfied.
They need to announce that they're making a full. Well, they've got to be careful how they word it, because if they say that we're making a full game, suggests they need to make one of these like a big. And like I wouldn't be shocked if you mentioned those little guys filming each other acting out games. I would not be surprised if every single first party exclusive in the history of PlayStation and every main, third party that you associate with PlayStation was represented in there. There's some deep cuts in there, and you have to be careful that if you make a full, like, you have to go in a shop and buy this version, Astro's Playroom or Astro's World. You could just call it Astro's World, Super Astro's World. You saw, there you go. You have to be a bit careful because a huge part of this is nostalgia, and a huge part of this is literally a tutorial for that controller. It shows you everything it has to offer. You have to be a bit careful because you can't do that again. You can use the controller, but you can't be finding PlayStation artifacts, I don't think, again.
No, I think if you made a game, it wouldn't be as PlayStation historical focus, right? It wouldn't be that. There'd be, I mean, I don't know, you'd be collecting something else.
But that's what I mean. You've got to be careful that you don't end up then making a Super Lucky's Tale, which is a fine game, but not, like, for me, I think I gave this a 9. A brilliant, truly exceptional game.
But the game isn't a 9 and 9.5 because it's got so many
it plays well.
artifacts in it. So I think there's definitely, I mean, let me put it this way. If they announce that, I'd love that. Like, I'd be well up for that. That would be near the top of my can't wait for that if they announce that.
But this game,
that's how good this game is.
That's what I was just going to say. This game, in all seriousness, like, we're not that far off from having our Game of the Year discussions. I'm going to say now this is going to be discussed. It's that good.
Yeah, this, obviously I had it on my radar because I knew it was, everyone gets it. But in my, my mental shortlist of games I've played and games I will hopefully play before the end of the conversations, this wasn't entering into them. It now has. So you honestly, Adam Carroll, when those 7 steps are done, mate, and you've got hold of your box, you will love this.
And I would also just say, I implore you, anyone watching or listening to this who has got a PS5 on the way or got one now, don't think, that's the freebie, I'll play, I'll get to it. Start with it. Because it puts you in the mood for, it makes the whole console experience feel kind of special. Yeah. And I say this, and I've had it, and of all the people here, I can say this having had time to ruminate on this. And I don't say this lightly. The question that popped up in my head today, actually, walking around, and I thought to myself, what's the better packed-in launch game, Wii Sports or this? That's the level we're talking. I was genuinely thinking, I suspect most people will go Wii Sports, but I never fell in love with motion controls the way many people did. This is right up my alley. This is,
I feel like, because I mean it's an interesting comparison you make. I think.
Well, they don't make many consoles with pack-ins anymore. That's the trouble.
No, but it's interesting. Obviously, it was doing the same thing. It was showing off what could be achieved with a controller. And it's difficult because I love Wii Sports and obviously the Wii. But like, I think it's probably done more for me in terms of thinking what you said earlier. What could other people do with it, and where can other games take it? I think that maybe than Wii Sports did. Maybe. Wii Sports for me was just in the moment and enjoying the thing that it was, whereas this I think is something slightly different, and I'm actually probably more excited to see how they use those things, and there's probably other stuff they haven't even thought of yet that they could use the technology for as well. So very good, really. And like you say, I did it how you said. I played that first.
Yeah, I really would recommend
mainly because everything else was installing, if I'm honest. But I'm so glad I did, because, like you say, it felt like an introduction, but not a boring one.
No,
one that just left a really, really solid, positive impression. Yeah, really good.
So I have a question for you that I can't answer because I have not yet put a PlayStation 5 disc in my console. Everything I've played has been pre-release and code. There has not been a single. I haven't seen a PS5 disc. You, I believe, have 2 discs, right?
Okay, yes.
Have you put Miles Morales in yet?
Yes.
Have you played it yet?
I've played like the first mission or so.
Do you get the option to play the PS4 version?
If you do, I didn't see it.
Okay. I was just curious because, like, I could have downloaded the PS4 and PS5 version, but I was supplied a code for review. I was curious with, and Demon's Souls is only PS5. Yes. So I was curious but I mean, it's certainly not, it doesn't matter so much. It was just a curiosity for me to.
I might have to I'm still trying to figure out the UI of the PlayStation.
No, but I mean, I don't know, like, could you put a PS5 disc in a PS4? Like, because it's, that's the thing, the things I haven't been able to test, like the weird little proclivities of the console. And in the weeks to come, both yourself, Mick when he's on here, Chris White when he's on here, Adam when he gets his 7 steps completed, you'll all, have your own little. The UI it needs a little bit of work. It does, but like I feel like a lot's been made of that when it's pretty clear to me they'll get there, and you spend more time playing games. So what have you played and what's your
different. It's just different. I'll say that.
It's different, but it's the same under the hood, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you get into the menus, they look exactly the same as the PS4. Like some of the settings menus and stuff, they look exactly the same almost.
If they don't patch into that UI that you hold the PlayStation button down, if they don't patch that in, I will be stunned. Like I would, they've been too. So to put your PS4 into rest mode, you hold the button. Yeah. In this, you can't do it. Holding the button does nothing. Like it doesn't do anything. And that was genuinely one of the reviewing it. I was like, no, I'm doing something wrong here. There must be a quicker shortcut to rest mode than this, but there isn't.
Yeah, me and my friends were obviously first got them all, and we were all trying it. Like last night, we're like, hang on, is your PlayStation button working? I was like, yeah, holding it does nothing. We've all tried it, and it doesn't do anything. It's like press to get the menu up.
Do you find that button a bit fiddly?
Yeah, I was going.
I didn't want to put it in the review because I was like, no, it's probably me with big fat hands or something. But it's
super critical. I've got obviously sausage fingers, so like it does feel a little bit like because it's shaped like the PS.
It's not a button. It's letters, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, get used to it, and it's not. Yeah. But I almost expect a button to be there. But
it feels less pronounced from. This is such a shitty complaint to make, but the PlayStation button feels less pronounced from the. I suppose it has to be because you wouldn't want to be catching it. But it feels like it should be almost like a millimeter more out of it. But that is I actually think I owe Mr. Sony an apology for that. That is such a shit. But that's again, I'm still enjoying my time with it. But what's are you at the stage where you can give initial impressions of the console, or do you want to talk games?
Yeah, I mean, I've just probably more games at this stage. I would say.
The UI stuff comes. You're going to spend hundreds, thousands of hours on that machine.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I talk games because the other game, other than like Miles Morales, which I've played, the opening level and then just open the world up and kind of save and quit because of time, feels very similar to the other one.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, but it looks like there's more to it. Sort of different things, different skills and stuff. Obviously, different skill trees and things. So, well up for playing more of that. The traversal still feels awesome. So, I'm up for more of that when I get to it. But the other game I've been playing, because I'm a sadist, is Demon Souls. And I will say, and I think it's because I've not quite got into the Miles Morales bit, all the fights where you know, we've seen some of the demos of that, and that looked gorgeous. But Demon Souls, man, that game looks stunning. Me and Adam were playing some co-op earlier, and we were saying it as well. When you see the vistas in certain levels and the lighting, it looks incredible. It really does. And the thing that's I noticed, and I knew this was going to be true from seeing some of the the gameplay of it beforehand. It's nowhere near as clunky as the original From Soft titles.
The frame rate changes things.
Yeah, and it's a much more smoother experience, which is fine actually. If you yes, part of the grind was having this turn in circle of a tank and all that sort of stuff, but it flows really well. Obviously, like you say, the frame rate's really good. It's really responsive, looks lovely. It's still an enjoyable adventure. I mean, we were in a really confined, dark place.
Yeah,
before,
not the best level to co-op.
Not the best level to co-op, but 3-1, but very, very pleased so far. It's this part of the game that I'm playing now is the bits I remember. As we get further and further in, I'll remember less and less of it, so it'll be more of a surprise. Oh, I didn't remember that bit, but I don't know if are you a Souls fan, Adam, Carroll? I can't remember if you are.
I am very excited for this. I actually have.
You've got it, haven't you?
I have it. Yeah, yeah. I got the physical of that and Spidey, but I'm just so keen to see the visual aesthetic of this game. Like that's like what you're talking about. Anything I've seen, it's kind of like, oh my god, look at this. Like, and it kind of just makes me think of like, if we get Bloodborne 2, if it ever happens.
So do you know what? I want to use this point to just talk directly to Mr. Sony and the camera there. Just put a patch out. I don't care how you have to do it. Uncap the frame rate on that game, because it will run at 60. If you uncap it, it's capped to 30. You can't break through it. I want to play that game at 60. Demon Souls, something I hadn't mentioned, and Adam, I know you'll appreciate this. Chris, I don't know if you'll have noticed this because we were on chatting, so I noticed it playing solo. Very clever with its soundtrack. There are moments in this game where there is no music, like how Breath of the Wild then will just come in and you're like, oh, it's music. And you don't notice there's no music until there is music. And it's really and there's very few games that are confident enough to be able to go, don't need to play any music.
I think just going off the visuals again, for me, any of the Souls games, do you know, like every corner, every room you walk into, you're just like, oh, what's in here? I think Souls, this particular version of it, like, I just feel every corner, every room you would walk into, will just be like, whoa, look how unreal this looks.
It really is that. I mean, I would. The introduction is gorgeous.
Jesus,
that is really.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Did you do the games developer publisher type marketing thing when you first took control of, when you first started outside the castle? You know, the first proper level 1-1.
Yeah.
Where you pan the camera up and were like, you literally look, because I did, like, and it wasn't because I was playing it pre-release or for a review of it. I was just like, fuck, like that is stunning, and it's weird because it's still grimy, dirty, bloody, vicious, but
it's pretty dank though, isn't it? It's pretty. Yes, that's the thing. Like, yes, it is disgusting in places. It's just blood and horrid stuff.
Blood stains on walls and weird
I've
Cthulhu
never
beasts.
Been so turned on with dank before. It's honest. I've not found a place yet in it where I'm like, oh, that's like a little bit rough compared to everywhere else. It just
it's pristine.
It's pretty throughout.
Yeah.
Obviously it's been done from the ground up, which makes a
Yeah.
massive difference for than just patching an old game or something.
Yeah.
But mate, you will yeah.
The clarity of like just some of the footage I've seen of like in the distance a castle, and you can just see the trickles of smoke coming off the top, and it's so clear. Like you would still see those kind of things in the likes of Bloodborne and even Dark Souls 3 and whatever, but like this just it really is, the visual aesthetic really makes me like, I was so unsure of whether I wanted this to be a game like I'll do Astrobot first obviously, and then I'll probably jump into Spidey, but Demon's Souls is kind of like, all right, do I want this challenge straight away? But like, I'm kind of like, yeah, I do. I think I had 24 hours of wondering if I needed that or not. But
you know, it isn't like it was then. It's a lot of people are playing it. You will see summon signs. You will be able to get help. You know, you will be able to. You can set co-op to private and by a password like the modern Souls games do, and you have one of us come and help you. It made me realise, I was thinking about this as well, and I was thinking, do you know what? Like, I would love to see Bluepoint and From do a new game together. Because it's very clear that Bluepoint can make a beautiful game based on their engine. So I would love imagine if Elden Ring was made by From and Bluepoint. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they've learnt lessons. From have learnt lessons. I was only remarking to Chris today playing it that you can. The more I play of Demons, the more I see where basically they went, look, none of you fuckers played Demons, so we're just going to reuse this. Like level 1, 2, the boss is identical. There's just a different boss model physically. The actual boss encounter with the archers around it, I mentioned it last week, it's the same. There are enemies from this game that they basically repurposed the entire enemy with, again, a new character model in Dark Souls 3. And it's very clear that at some point they're like, well, no one played this fucking game, so I'm going to I liked it and people like it now and it all works. So I would love to see, because apparently it is running on it's the same game with like a new visuals, but like it's the same engine apparently. Like it is, it's exceptional. It's an exceptional video game.
Amazing.
It really is. Chris, have you played anything else on PlayStation 5? I know you haven't had it that long.
I've played a little bit of FIFA, and I have Cold War installed finally. So I haven't played that.
Half your hard drive's gone then.
About 3/4 of it is gone. So which is demoralizing, but it is what it is. But there's big games, so that's the thing to.
But there's not many big games left now. Like people are, because again, I've heard people sort of saying, "Oh, the launch lineup's not that exciting," and
Who said that?
I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, console launches," because a lot of people are remarking how so for example, Miles is available on PS4, Sackboy is on PS4, and that's true. And that is true, and I'm not denying that. But I played them as new games on my PS5. And I've actually found it to be one of the better launch lineups. I don't think launch lineups are very good anyway, usually. What would you remember as a launch for a console that was like, oh yeah, and I had this one.
I said it last week, but Breath of the Wild was
Breath of the Wild.
Switch, maybe.
Again,
yeah.
That was on the Wii U. People use the same argument for
that,
couldn't which is I don't agree with that argument generally. I think because I played Breath of the Wild on launch. I think a lot of people did, but I don't.
Mario
think
64.
Mario 64 is the other one that
So launches on. I mean, the PS3 launch, for example, was shite.
What was it? MotorStorm and Resistance.
There was was it Genshi?
No,
that was PS4.
Heavenly Sword.
That may have, which I didn't mind actually, but I can't say that was. But to me, Astro's Playroom, Demon's Souls, Spider-Man, Sackboy. You don't have to say it's a launch game, but it's coming out on launch. Call of Duty. Godfall. I feel like that. Godfall, I enjoyed Godfall. I understand why others aren't, but it's a PS5 exclusive console-wise at the moment till next year, I think. I don't know if they've said actually. I think it's a pretty decent launch, like Bugsnax. Oh, that's on PS4. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I played it on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the weakest launch game is Sackboy, and I don't think that's bad. I don't go, oh, what a bad game.
No, but when that's a standard, that's. Oh, sorry, I've broken your segue, haven't I? Sorry,
I was sort of waiting for Adam to just take that and run with it, but I don't know.
just letting you. I was just about to go with it, man.
Go for it.
Sackboy, yeah. So I've played the PS4 version, which is. It still looks like it looks amazing. Still, it looks great. I've played about 2 hours, I guess.
So you
2, 3
haven't
hours.
finished it either. This is what I was wondering.
No, I haven't, and it's like I will. Like
Will you?
I
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Like, look, here's the thing, right? With all the no, I've yet to play Astrobot, but with all the praise that Astrobot has got over his last two, like as a mascot, those last two releases, what was it? Astrobot VR?
Yeah, Astrobot VR mission, I think.
Yeah, so that was highly praised. Like,
that was great.
Now you have this one as well, which is also free. Sackboy should be doing that exact same thing. It should be. Now it's been received pretty well, but my thing about it is, I think aside from throwing funny, quirky costumes on Sackboy,
they could remove that and it would be a no worse game.
Yeah, it's just I find Sackboy a poor enough mascot for Sony. I don't really. I think it's the idea, and it always has been, of Little Big Planet that has sold that franchise from day one. I think like Little Big Planet 1 was like obviously the big seller. 2 was kind of like, just a bit more of one, little tweaks. 3, I feel, was a bit of a disappointment. I think there might have been a couple of bugs and stuff like that, I remember. And as it's gone on, I haven't really heard or felt.
It's never taken off. Not really.
I've never
not
heard
properly.
the passion.
Not how it should, given it's a first party Sony exclusive.
Yeah, so
never taken off. Weirdly.
Like, from what I've played of Sackboy, like, where's the magic? Like, that's all I gotta say is like there was.
Well, they think there's magic in there. I think they think there is. Like, I think they think those music levels are like.
Well, like, they're okay, but there just could be so much more. And I think like the challenge. Jesus, could this game be any easier? It's
the time trials are a bit what they called nights. I can't remember what they're called. Like nights of the, or something.
If there's a bit of a challenge in time trials, okay. Like that's what a time trial is supposed to be anyway, a challenge, right? But the actual overall game that I've played so far, like, for the fact that they don't have much magical moments that I've seen in my playthrough so far, it just, the difficulty is like, wow, this is so basic in its ways. Like, okay, like there was 1 or 2 moments where like I grabbed a rocket, and when Sackboy grabs the rocket, it just kind of takes off a small bit and it explodes and it brings you up to like a little ledge or something, and you're kind of like, oh, that's fun. But knowing what Little Big Planet was regarding the crafting and all that kind of stuff, it's just not a whole pile of fun. Like, I think there's loads of secrets in it. There's loads of things to find and collect and shit like that. Yep. But like, a level will end and you'll be kind of going, oh, I was waiting
for like... They need to ditch that shit at the end of the levels that's been in every Little Big Planet game where you get to a finish line and you push a button and it brings up your score and all the TV. It needs to go. Like, because they're so close by taking it away from the, what was it, play, create, share? The thing, was that the motto? Like that, yeah. But they've taken all of that away and they've made a single or co-op player platform game with an overworld like Mario, but they've still got the create your character with. Like, I'm just not interested in it. Sorry, I'm just not. I'm not that. I'm never a creative class guy. Not interested in it. And the ending of each level, it's like, it's the fact that there's a button you can push to fast forward that ending thing. They know.
Absolutely. That is so true. Like, here's the thing, right? When you get to the end of each level or world, whatever.
Yes.
That exact moment, like, I ended up skipping it.
Yep.
The third time in. I was like, all right, if I can skip this, I'm going to keep doing it because fuck I did one photo. I was like, oh, that's fine.
That's the and then after that, it gets you to take a photo.
It gets to take a photo, right? But
it never tells you how. By the way,
that's the end of every level.
You it's like got Sackboy in a spotlight holding a trophy. You got whatever you got, gold, silver, or bronze, and that's what I meant to ask Chris if he was on, and I'll ask you. This game's got zero tutorial, right? Like, I found out some of the moves by pressing start and checking the buttons. Like, I didn't. It doesn't teach you you can roll or slam.
There's nothing really like. There's one or two.
I mean, it doesn't even tell you how you move your hands.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Does it?
Like,
okay, I wondered if that was a PS5 thing, but it doesn't tell you that, right?
Like you can totally maybe there's a kind of a whole sense of discovery that they want you to have.
It tells you to take a picture.
That rocket, those three rocket things, right? Yeah. They're just like set up against what? And I was running along and I jumped and it was just by chance I held down, I think it's R2 or something.
Yeah.
And then he grabbed it and I was like, oh wow. And I went, I fucking forgot about this. I forgot that he can do that kind of thing.
Stuff.
But it blows my mind though, just going back to what we're saying there, the ending of each world. Like why they didn't just like when you get to the end of it, if it's to do with a loading thing, okay, just have a load but have a load of like just random items for Sackboy just to pick up and throw, or some fireworks.
You are just stood there.
You just stood there at the photo, and you kind of go, all right. Cool.
Now, I will say, I expect that's not as tedious if you playing co-op. Now, I couldn't test multiplayer because I only have one PlayStation 5 controller, and the online co-op is being patched in.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we would both be singing from a different hymn sheet if we were playing through this game together in co-op. I think that could be more fun. And just that, I mean, let's be honest, everything's improved with co-op, just having a bit of a chat while you're playing with your mates. Have you got as far as the train level? I think it's in the first world. I think it might be the last level of the first world. Have you played the boss fight yet?
Yeah.
You must have played the train level. You're on the back of a train. If you actually die, you checkpoint wherever the train is because the train's moving through the full level. I'm sure it was in the first world, and that was the first level. Where I was like, oh, okay, hang on, it's maybe ramping up to something. And I will say, like, Dawn French, just superb. I forget who the bad guy is, but
like those kind of things, cool. But I think
not the game, is it? It's
for me, it's like when I start a game like that, why do these platform games exist? And it's like the first like few levels are just pure forgettable.
It's baby steps things. As well, isn't it?
You're just like I've played these games. We've been through Mario. We know what platform games are. Give us magic from the start. That's why I've always thought like, I want another Rayman because those last two Rayman games have been absolute just gold. And
was I too hard on the music levels then? Because I know Chris. No, obviously, I feel like it's unfair because he's not here to defend his. He loved it, but when I read his review, I was like, whatever he got from the music levels, I didn't, because I felt like I don't understand why there's licensed music in this game. Yeah,
it's just when I am solely comparing from what Rayman did, and I know that's not fair.
But isn't that what they're going for?
I guess so.
I mean, why have you just randomly got Uptown Funk playing in the background?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It sounds like I'm really shitting on it, and I'm not. No, it's not bad.
I have a friend who got his PS5 yesterday. I was only on to him last night, and he was like, "Oh, I see you were playing Sackboy. What's it like?" And I was just like,
it's all right.
You have a kid. I think he'll really enjoy it, and I think you'll have fun with it.
But what age is his kid? Because like mine aren't
9.
Okay, maybe.
And they have two DualSense controllers. I was like, you'll have enjoyment out of it. I'm sure you will. But for me, I'm fucking 32 years old, and I'm just wanting to play Demon's Souls right now and Spidey.
Yeah, but man, you see, you mentioned about the difficulty. Astro's Playroom isn't hard at all. Like there is very little difficulty, but it's so much better playing. Like I would like to play. I mean, I don't know when they're actually patching it. I would like to play Sackboy in co-op because I think there's something there, if that makes sense.
Look, the difficulty is not. It's a criticism from me personally, just because if I'm playing it on my own, but I'm playing it on my own at such an easy level.
Yeah.
And it's lacking the magic.
There's also no penalty for death, is there? Is there?
Yeah.
You lose some of your translucent globy things.
Yeah, like dying is just like, I think I once just fell off an edge and I was like, oh, right, okay. But like, if there was just magic constantly, funny moments, funny sensitive, like Sackboy, like as I said, there's no real fun charm to him. Like, and I can't believe after all this time, there's not much bar throwing on, as I said, an outfit or just raising his hands up like this and stuff. It's a bit like, we need more from Sackboy. And
it could almost use abilities. Like I know you get like World 2 where you get like is it honey on your feet and you can walk up stuff. But also you can't take you can take 2 hits and that's a death, and then it's kind of awkward and cumbersome, and like it almost feels like. Have you played Crash 4, Ads?
No, I really want to.
So in that, like, they do similar in that you get this power, but it's like you pick it up and then it's gone when you finish with that section. And Sackboy does this too, where you get the honey feet and it's for that level. Whereas I kind of almost wish it was more of a. You could almost bring up like a toolbar and put those shoes up, you know what I mean, and use them, and then they created the level so that there was all sorts of things, so that maybe when you got to, let's say, World 4, you could go back to World 1 and use things, almost a Metroidvania-y sort of, that there were things you could only find once you unlock stuff, but that's just not how this game works. The moveset is there from the start.
I don't think in any way you're being unfair to the game. I just feel like it is pretty much a PS5 release as well. It's out there to be purchased, and I think a lot of people have purchased it. It's just lower tier compared to everything else.
It's just all right.
And I have yet to touch any of the new stuff. Like, obviously,
no.
It's not like I'm not like, holy shit, I cannot wait to go and play Sackboy. Do you know?
I've not played it since it. I mean, and when I say release, I mean the US release of the console. I've not played it since before then.
Yeah. And I thought, like, oh, do you know what? I'll jump into this now to be right, because I've been having such a rough time with Valhalla. But, like, I was like, maybe Sackboy, but it's just like, sadly, not there yet.
It's not, no. We should talk about Call of Duty, which we'll do more next week as well, I think.
How's the campaign?
I haven't finished it. I like it. Like,
I like all their campaigns.
No, I get that as well. Like, it's the equivalent of watching a Marvel movie or the summer blockbuster. That's what this is. Like, I think it does stuff that Call of Duty doesn't do. Like, one of the levels, a few levels ago, I played where you play, I won't even say who, but you play a sort of double agent. And in this whole level, you are walking around a KGB, is it KGB? Yeah, KGB offices. And you can press a button to bring up a map and mark points on the map. And there's objectives to go and frame people, and you go to computers. And none of it's like super in depth. But you can poison someone, or you can frame them, and the whole idea is you're the sleeper agent, and you're double agent, and you're going around this KGB thing, trying to let the people you have been playing as in through a bunker, and there's like no guns until that section starts. Like, you let them in, and then the camera literally goes and comes behind them, and now you're them, and it's really cool. And like.
That sounds like Hitman-y.
Bang. That's it. It's really Hitman. You are walking around and you are learning about people from the computer. Like, you're picking up clues. Like, there's literally a lock you have to find the combination for, and you can open it. You get poison from there. It's obviously there is shooting in this game. Like, but do you know what? A fuck of a lot less than I'm used to. Like, there's loads of stealth missions, and there's like optional. Like, at the end of one level, you get to and it's not a case of press a button or don't. Press yes or no. It is a case of the guy's trying to run out the door, and he'll turn around and do that, and you either kill him or you don't, and you please one character, or it's up to you. I'm surprised by the campaign. Like, I don't think it's mind blowing. Like, it's not like amazing. But I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's different. It feels. I was playing that sort of level with the KGB, and it reminded me more, like, say, of a Hitman or maybe like a Fallout, where you're not doing shooting all the time. And it made me wonder. I wonder what kind of game Activision, or in this case, it's Treyarch. Is it Treyarch, this one? Yeah, Black Ops, Treyarch. It made me wonder what they could do if they went off to make like a first-person sort of campaign game. Like a Far Cry. With intertwining levels and maps, and it made me think they're actually good at this, and that's so But the multiplayer as well. There's a lot less maps than there has been in past years. Make of that what you will. A lot of them are available only to like the bigger modes, like with more enemies. Man, I thought my days of not playing, but enjoying Call of Duty Online were. And we've talked about this years and years on the podcast. Whether it's because I was finally playing with my friends, it was me, Chris, and Mick. Chris White, not Chris Hyde. He's due to play soon. He's on the list to join up with. I had fun. Like, yeah, you're there going, oh man, he never. I got that. The kill cam's bullshit. It's still that, but I found, like, I got a double kill and I was like, now, wait,
yeah.
wait,
like a boss.
hang on now, hang on. And then I got like revenge on a dude, and I killed the guy who'd been killing. Everyone's like, nah. Like the first match, I came second. I was like, nah, this is a mistake. There's something not right here. It didn't last. The thing I like the most, though, what they've done is that the progression. So single player is very much over here. This is single player. It's replayable. There's optional missions. There's loads of little spy shit you can find in the levels that unlock optional missions as well. That's there. That's over there. That's there for you. Multiplayer and zombies, your level carries between the two. So by playing zombies mode, your progression continues. So you may be level 2, but then you go and play 3 hours of zombies, and you'll be level, 6 or 7. You go back to multiplayer, you're level 6 or 7, and the things you've unlocked in zombies, you've unlocked in multiplayer. So whatever you're playing with your friends, you are progressing up the ranks. You are unlocking new skill streaks, all that stuff, all the weapon types, or new weapons. Your level of your weapon is progressive. So you may be using that weapon in multiplayer. Then you play it, let's say, hours of zombies, and that level of the weapon also still ranks up there. And it's just a little thing, but the fact it carries is a nice little thing that makes me kind of want to just keep playing it. Like, I think if I can arrange that I can play with sort of you guys regularly, I think this might be the year. There's still things they need to touch up on. Like, so on the main menu, you've got Warzone, their Battle Royale. Now, if you click that, it literally, I don't know if it suspends, I guess it closes Black Ops Cold War app and it loads Warzone, which is actually Modern Warfare. Now, I own Modern Warfare on PS5. Excuse me. But if you haven't got it installed, it just closes the app, comes up with, this content is not available because you haven't downloaded Warzone. It's not part of Cold War yet. Now, that will happen, I reckon, December time, then when Season 1 starts for Cold War. I'm sure that they will bring Warzone into the package properly, and then it will be like 200 gig because it's already like 145. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I dig it.
It's another good Call of Duty game.
It's made me want to go back because I never finished Modern Warfare's single player, and I never really got into Modern Warfare because I just hadn't got time. The difference is this year, a lot of the games, well, Call of Duty's later, and a lot of the games I've played now and finished that I'm going to. So I can actually just play, and I don't know what's happened to me. I've turned into a real gamer. FIFA and COD are my games at the moment. Like, it couldn't be more stereotypical. But there's no but. I'm in a good place. I'm
the most hyped I've been for this one. I didn't even play the last year's one, so I've been away. I've been kind of slowly falling off COD for a fair while, and actually I'm really up for this. Everything you just said about the single player campaign makes me even more up for it. So yeah. See,
everyone else I've seen have been like, yeah, it's just another Call of Duty, whereas. Okay, so I can't speak for Modern Warfare. The year before was Black Ops 4. Didn't have a campaign. Like, all the campaigns I've played before that, like what was it, the Kevin Spacey, Modern Warfare, Advanced
Warfare
one was good. Had like the optional side quests for the first time. And you're like, this is cool.
And it had those mechs.
Yes, but this one, every level I've been expecting to eventually just drop into that. Right, we've dropped you in, shoot everything. Go out the other, and I haven't actually played a full mission like that yet, which is to me surprising.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it. Your mileage may vary. I'm not a hardcore Call of Duty player. I haven't been for many years. I've played them all. There's not a Call of Duty I haven't played in the last since Call of Duty 2, in fact. So maybe I am a hardcore Call of Duty player, but I didn't get very far in Modern Warfare. I just didn't have time. But that, maybe next week I'll be like, oh, multiplayer's broken. They're going to balance it. There's weapons already that are overpowered. They'll balance it. They will do that. Let's move on to listener correspondence, though. And this one comes in from @punishedballbag, which is not me saying it weird. It's ballbag, B-A-W bag, and the username InfinityBallbag. And this is a difficult question to answer. He says, I have a PlayStation 5 in my house. It has to stay locked away until Christmas Day. Am I within my right as a parent to ignore this directive and get it out anyway? Or must I wait 5 weeks to get my hands on it?
I'd like to jump in straight away and say that I did this for the PS4. So when I got the PS...
But you don't have children, Adam.
Yeah.
Whose children were you stealing the PlayStation 4 from?
Well... yeah.
Jesus, sorry, I'll cut that bit. That sounds like a shit.
I'm intrigued by the wording of this question. So
okay,
it has to stay locked away until Christmas Day implies
it's for the kid.
Someone. Well, it also implies someone else has decreed that it has to stay locked away. The fact that this question's being asked,
then we can't answer that.
No, exactly. It's
Adam, we can't get involved in this. So you've had this. Sounds like you had a PS4 bought for you, but you weren't allowed it. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I'm just thinking like that this particular person is going by guidelines of bought this. Should I keep it for Christmas? It'll be special. Or should I just take it out and start playing the fucking thing? Like, and that's what I did with the PlayStation 4. I got the PlayStation 4 and I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it till Christmas. And I wrapped it, put it under the tree, kept it there, and it was great. And then Christmas came around, it was banging. It was someday.
But man, every single game and the PlayStation 5 itself has got an update at the moment. Like, so here's a little thing for you. As hard as it may be. Yeah. No,
you would not put it back.
Come on.
If you open that and plug it in, that's it.
I don't think you could get that. I mean, you've seen the PlayStation 5.
Okay, then wait till Christmas Eve and take it out, update it all throughout the night, and then Christmas Day you're good to go. That's the answer.
There's information missing from this tweet that makes it difficult because I think
this person wants to play it.
He says as a parent to ignore this directive and get it out anyway.
That implies it's a present for a child, and that makes a difference, surely.
No, you see, because it says it has to stay locked away until Christmas Day. But am I within my right as a parent? No, because it would be as an adult. If it was, am I within my right as an adult to ignore this directive? I feel it would be a case of he's saying the missus or whatever has said this is for your Christmas. You're not to have it till then, and he's like, well, I'm a fucking adult. But he said as a parent, which suggests to me.
I think the situation here is that he's been told that it's a child's present. And therefore, it's got to stay under the tree till Christmas Day. He wants to play it now.
Yes.
Without said child, and is asking if we give our blessing to such an act.
Do you?
No. I don't want to be responsible for the arguments.
So,
look, I would assume that it's been bought under the assumption it's a child's Christmas present. So therefore, that's what should happen.
I think this person needs to really think how they'd feel if they did it.
Or about how much they like their child. Or children. Or wife. And family in general.
For a console that you're going to have for, 5 to 7 years, does a month really make a difference?
So what I would say is you could get it out. You could play it. And maybe you could. I don't think it would be easy to get that console back in that box. Also worth noting, I have yet to see a single person's PS5 box that hasn't had a tear on the outside of that weirdly thin plastic. I guarantee, Adam, when yours arrives, there's an outer shell of it. It's so paper thin. I guarantee. I haven't seen yet one.
No, mine had a tear, and then I tore it as well.
Yeah, it's so flimsy. I have no idea. Yeah. So let's presume you've got a pristine, but you'll never get it back in there like that. And what I would say is think about their reaction on Christmas Day. You'll remember that. I don't know how old you are or how old your kids are, but you'll remember that for the rest of your life, because what you have done there, work your ass off to get that PlayStation for them kids. They won't forget it, and you'll remember how they felt. And you are a badass motherfucker of a dad, and you should keep it in the box. And you are the best dad. And yeah,
I still remember when I got a SNES at Christmas with Street Fighter 2 in it, and my dad opened it the night before and practiced with Ryu so he could kick our ass on Christmas Day. I still remember that. So, because I was like, oh my God, he can do a fireball. He's amazing. He's like a god at this. And I was like, how do you know how to do that? And he was like, oh.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe you, like Adam said, you get it out Christmas Eve and you can have a quick play. And then when they come down in the morning, you put the box, because the box is huge, in front of the entertainment unit. And, well, no, because you see the Christmas present thing opening it. No, just leave it up. Just put it away. Maybe, do you know what, take it to, social distancing, but if you've got someone in your bubble like a mum or dad, that you can take it to their house to remove the temptation. And keep an eye out, maybe if you can get a second one or something. I don't know, maybe you're rich. Who'd do that? Thomas at LlamaFluff42. What trends do you predict with the new gen? Massive downloads, haptic feedback, quick resume. That's this gen done.
There you go.
Games are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of size, like gig. It's just going to be ridiculous.
Yes,
it's going to make the size of the current like hard drives on consoles. It feels ridiculous now. It's going to feel even more ridiculous at the end of the generation.
Yep. Adam, any you can think of?
Not yet until I get the console. I don't know. I have to see.
Yeah.
But I feel like the big game thing is definitely going to be one.
What's the funniest out of context lyrics you can think of? I'm going with I want to shower you with sugar lumps and ride you over fences, which I believe is lyrics from My Lovely Horse from Father Ted.
Is it?
I think so. My lovely horse. I want to shower you with sugar lumps, ride you over fences. It sounds like it.
It must be about horses because it's sugar lumps and fences. It must be a horse thing.
It could be a sexy thing. I want to shower you with sugar lumps and ride you over fences.
Yeah,
yeah. Adam, you're from Ireland. When you say ride, it means something different, right?
Yeah, it means a shag.
I've just checked. It is. I want to shower you with sugar lumps and ride you over fences, polish your hooves every single day, and bring you to the horse dentist. The horse dentist, remember?
Oh, yeah.
My lovely horse. That's the Divine Comedy again, by the way. They did that.
Out of context.
Hannah, wasn't it?
I'm struggling with this one, if I'm honest. I'm hoping the musicians amongst me will be able to pick up this one. No clue.
I mean...
Spy on me, baby. Use satellite. Infrared to see me move through the night.
What's that song? Is it...
Have you Googled that or have you just remembered it?
No, I've just Googled it.
Oh, right.
I mean, the whole... just take anything out of the lyrics to the song WAP.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
Although I'm not sure they're funny, they're just rude. Okay, here's a lyric for... No, I can't read that. No, do you know what? I was going to read a lyric then that it's... Again, out of context, it sounds horrific, actually, so I can't... I'll tell you guys after. I can't do it, because in this day and age, it will. If someone will take it out of context of me saying it, and I'll be in a world of trouble. So I'm just going to move on to the next question. There's one here that we will do a podcast on eventually. The question is, with the door closing on last gen, what were your favourite PS4 and Xbox One games? I feel we've addressed quite a few of them before, like God of War, Bloodborne. But we will
That's
do
something I really would like to do.
We should do
fairly decent podcast on.
But we need to kind of make a list, almost like a short list, and do a.
Yeah.
I think what I'd like to do is do a Game of the Year style Game of the Generation pod.
I'm up for that.
Where we get that done, but time and
definitely do it.
Yeah, that is in the works. It's been in the works. We've discussed it editorial for quite a while now. Do you think the high price of next gen games will stabilise, or have the new machines ushered in a new level of pricing? So this is in reference to the $70 kind of game now that was a $60 game. It's going to stay, yeah. And I think more will. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there actually was a quote from the chief finance officer at Xbox who has said basically, we'll announce something about our pricing structure going forward. Now, whether that means they will update Game Pass to be a bit more expensive, or games will be, but I don't think they can keep throwing money away, which is what they're really doing. They're buying all these studios, giving you this great deal of the Game Pass. Microsoft are going to have to, and let's face it, Nintendo don't drop prices anyway, so they're never going to have discount games, so they don't need to do an awful lot. And Nintendo fans buy all games anyway, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I took that announcement as definitely Game Pass is going up, but I also wouldn't be surprised.
And it maybe
to
should.
Your point.
It
probably should. Yeah, with the games getting now.
I mean, they'll honour it. And most people have got 2 years stacked anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm less annoyed by this than I've seen some people be annoyed by the price increase. I've seen some people rage about it. So
what you're saying is, Posh Chris doesn't mind.
No, I mean, I'm, me. I've got my
gold chain around his neck there.
My basement full of gold coins that I dive into every morning.
Scrooge McChris.
Scrooge McChris, exactly. Yeah. But no, I mean, look, games just.
There was a little look on your face then, was like, fuck's sake, this again. There was just a little furrowed brow that let so much more information than you meant.
N64 games are 70 quid.
Wow,
I paid 70 quid for Turok 2, so I kind of feel like.
Sorry, mate.
I paid €80 for the first Assassin's Creed.
I think the issue is we went through a period where 40 quid was a really good price for a game. Like I think people just got used to that, and that was a period where I think a lot of people got into gaming. So I kind of get it, but for old farts like me, it's not. I think the only problem is there's so many bloody games now.
Yes, that's the
I think
bigger problem.
That makes more the issue than a game itself being 70 quid. It's the fact that there's 5 of them right now that I want to play, whereas normally there's like maybe one a month coming out that's
and
got my
$70
interest.
or whatever makes you be able to afford 3 of them instead of 4 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it's going away though.
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
There's no way for the launch of a console they'll be like games are 70 quid and they go, actually, only joking, now they're 60. No, not a chance.
Okay, another question.
Yes.
Brown sauce. Chris, you're answering last because we don't need to hear any more of your egg issues. But Adam Carroll, brown sauce with any egg-based meal is depraved and possibly illegal. Please discuss.
I'd go for it.
What the?
I'd bang on a load of scrambled eggs and just
omelette with some brown sauce.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'll be
fry up with a
Do you know what,
full
though,
Irish
brown
with a brown sauce on the side.
Brown sauce is the first sauce ever that my dad gave to me when I was small, and I was sitting. I vividly remember sitting at the table. He goes, "Try this," and I was just like, "Brown sauce.
What is it?"
Because you know when you're a kid, like it's just tomato sauce. You know. That's
brown sauce is a weird taste.
Brown sauce is weird. Like
I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's for you, Dad. And then he gave it to me anyway, and
it's Daddy's brown sauce.
I full blown vomited all over the table.
Of course you did.
Yeah, but now I'm into it and I'm trying it all over eggs and shit like that.
Yeah, no, I don't have any issue with brown sauce whatsoever. I quite like it.
Besides, you not like brown sauce.
Right, so
he doesn't like eggs, mate.
Don't like eggs. Okay, so eggs are fucking rancid. They're just eggs are Have you not heard this conversation?
No.
Right, okay.
I'm almost sure he was on the podcast, but it's fine.
He's just erased it from his mind.
No.
I know Chris's bean situation.
No, see, that's fork off. Chris isn't on this Chris here. No, Chris, he's talking about Chris.
There's a lot
Chris
of food
White.
to be remembering here.
We do a lot of food talk.
Eggs are rank.
No, it's called fork off.
they smell disgusting and they taste like they smell like it's.
Sorry.
Yeah, the smell is quite something.
No one ever says, that lovely eggy smell, and they taste like they smell. It's disgusting. Anyway,
no, I have to stop you there. If a scrambled egg is being cooked in the kitchen, I definitely smell it and go, oh, scrambled egg.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We can move past this question very quickly, I think, because otherwise
I would eat eggs every meal of the day.
Yeah.
No, not a chance. Obviously for me. However,
what I'm saying is I think you're the weird one here. Do you accept that? Do you at least accept that
I accept that I'm in the minority, but obviously because it's my opinion, I think you are all wrong. Obviously.
Do you like brown sauce?
So you're arrogant, is what you're saying.
No, that's the definition of an opinion.
No, but what I'm going to say here to you might seem like a harsh comparison, but paedophiles don't think they're in the wrong. Okay?
Christ.
I'm just saying they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. The rest of the world isn't fucking wrong.
That's why they do it.
Right, but the rest of the world doesn't.
Hey, Chris.
Do you like brown sauce?
I mean,
do you like brown sauce?
Yes. So what I was going to say is, if I had to eat an egg-based meal, I'd cover. Brown sauce is the best sauce to cover it in taste.
Because it's such a strong flavour.
Yeah. So if I had to eat an egg-based meal, I'd cover the brown sauce in it, and I agree, brown sauce on a full English minus the egg.
Like,
bang
if
in.
you had, can I ask this? If you got egg fried rice, would you be in trouble?
No, because I'm not allergic, and I don't think egg fried rice.
Oh yeah, I know you're not allergic, but like,
it's got big bits of egg in it.
No, I know it does. Look, this is where I'd say lose credibility like I had some in the first. but like, I personally, I mean, if I had a choice, I'd probably just.
He's lost credibility over eggs. Yeah. I mean, stick it on your gravestone.
I think if you can taste the egg, then no. I wouldn't eat it.
But are you saying you can't taste egg in egg fried rice? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you are wrong. If you can't, it is literally scrambled egg.
I know, but it's the same. Right, carbonara. You're having carbonara tonight. That's got egg in it. Yeah,
definitely got egg in it.
Yeah, but you can't taste the egg in carbonara, or certainly the one I got made for me.
But there aren't like big clumps of egg in carbonara.
I'm well aware.
Like there is literally, a good egg fried rice. You could almost pick out bits of scrambled egg.
Yeah. So the other thing that will make you think I'm weird, right? That we've gone so far off piece with this. So Scotch egg, right?
I definitely know a good old Scotch egg.
Whole egg with meat around it. The mini ones with the little chopped up bits of egg, I'll eat them because you can't taste the egg.
No, I'm done. This is nonsense.
A Scotch egg sounds terrible.
Well,
what?
So, like
homemade Scotch egg, still warm. Use chicken sausage. Use chicken sausages for the meat casing.
Chicken sausage.
And then
you're a vegetarian.
It just leaks out everywhere. Oh god.
Hey,
anyway,
what leaks out? Oh yeah, when you cut into the still warm, when the egg is a little bit runny still.
Are you cutting through chicken sausage?
No, so do you know what a Scotch egg is?
I do, but like there's different.
So breadcrumb, the way they're made in this house,
jizz everywhere.
Egg jizz. If that could only be the podcast title. You got obviously a full boiled egg inside, chicken sausages that you've mashed up and you've made into the meat that surrounds it. Adam, you'd love it, and then breadcrumbs around that, and then it's obviously cooked. And then if you do them homemade, when you cut into them, if you let them cool down a bit, but not all the way, when you cut into them, the egg can still be a little bit runny. And my word, then a bit of salad cream on the side.
For fuck's sake,
lovely.
But the mini ones, you just because it's more sausage than egg, I can't taste the egg, so they go in. Because I'm not against eggs in the sense, I just don't like the taste of them or the smell of them. So like in cakes. So
you're against eggs.
And what about brown sauce?
In cakes and stuff. Love brown sauce.
Because I feel like the crux of this question is that Thomas doesn't like brown sauce. I don't feel the egg is really relevant other than...
If I had to eat an egg-based meal, brown sauce, yes. And
so you're the complete opposite to...
Brown sauce on full English as well, obviously minus the egg, has to be brown sauce. So yeah, all for that.
Fine. I mean, there's no way this next question, these two should be ever in the same podcast on A God Is a Geek podcast ever. Ever. But recently I bought a Pringles can. This isn't me speaking, this is Thomas. And all the crisps were broken, rendering them useless. What? Should I have made a citizen's arrest or gone full Adam Carroll? I don't know how to feel. How would you deal with this? A fully smashed up...
They'd get a fucking strongly worded email from me anyway.
Pringles or the shop?
Mr. Pringle would.
Mr. Pringle.
Sure.
Is he the guy on the front of the
He's the guy with the text, yeah.
I think the question is, right,
that's exactly
the
what
real
he
question
looks
is...
as well, it's just his head.
The question is how broken, surely?
No, I think the question is if the crisps are all broken, what would you still try and eat them?
That they're never broken.
Yeah, and
never.
So the answer to that question is, well, I'd want to know how broken they are. If it's like literally sawdust, then probably not. But if it's like they've all got a little bit of, they're all just jagged because they've got a little bit off the edge, then of course I'd eat them still. So I guess it depends how.
You double back them to make up for the missing.
Yeah, you stack them, and you definitely don't regurgitate them because you're not an animal.
I love a stacked Pringle.
Yeah. Do you go 2 or 3?
Fucking 6 or 10.
Okay, of course you do. You like a real
I like a real.
If he can still breathe whilst he's chewing, there's not enough in his mouth.
I mean, I think I'd eat them still, unless they were like you say. Just I don't know that I wouldn't try and. I mean,
I think there's still crisp sandwich potential, even if they're broken. I think
not like your talk, not the crisp sandwich you're thinking of, not a Pringles.
No, not Pringles sandwich.
Just be careful what you say, Chris.
Crisps in a sandwich with a filling, That's
That's the end of the podcast.
Thank
you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. You can go to YouTube. You can go to patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. You can find us anywhere. I'm sure soon we'll be sending fleets on Twitter when... whatever. Twitter's now Instagram, isn't it? Whatever. But you can follow us everywhere. Just type our site name in. Maybe Chris will do like a fleet of him going... or something. Or maybe we can have we can do fleets of Adam's 7 steps. There you go. And
let's check that step.
Has it changed? Is it now in the plane? Is it on a plane? Is it a ferry? We'll never know. We might know. Thank you very much. Like I say, do subscribe. Do give us a review on iTunes if people still do that. We appreciate it. You can find us on Spotify if you're watching. But yeah, YouTube. There you go. YouTube is the only place you can find the video version. You can get early on Patreon and this podcast in audio form too. Adam and Chris, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will be back next week to talk. But no, we won't be back next week. Shit. Sorry. That's a really important thing. Very unlikely there'll be an episode next Friday because for a start, we put them out on a Monday. But But it's very unlikely that next there will be that 424 will be next week.
We're getting prepared for Game of the Year as well.
We're getting big time prepared for Game of the Year. We've got to start some preliminary recordings and get stuff in process. It's a lot of stuff to do. We're well aware there's one big game still to come, and we really want to include that in our thoughts because we think it could be a good one. So probably, not definitely, but probably no episode next Monday. Apologies. We don't miss weeks very often. In fact, this will be the first one this year. That's pretty good. It's pretty good going for free. Again, thanks to the lads for being here, and we will speak to you next week, or whenever you choose to listen, because you still might choose to listen next week, but it'll be an old one. Bye.